So, like I said, same day that I'm recording this, maybe not the same day you're receiving this, but welcome back. It's Mari Chan. We are back again, and we're gonna make something, okay? I've got this blank watercolor paper right here, and we're gonna make something great, hopefully. I'm gonna be honest, let me show y'all what was on the other side. I started doing something on the other side, and I absolutely hated it. But there's another side of the paper. Maybe another day I will come back to this and like do something over it. But let's go ahead and see what we create today. So, first things first, I need to figure out all that I am going to utilize. I believe that I'm going to use some charcoal today. I also believe I need to move certain things out of the way. And I just rhymed. I love it when I do that. What I will say is that I don't know if I'll be using my vine and willow charcoal stick or if I will be using compressed charcoal, but I'm just going to take them both out. I have my blending tool and there are two more smaller ones in there, and I've got my ink pen. Now time to choose some watercolor colors, some watercolor colors. This is the hard part because I got a lot of watercolor. Not only that, but I have a lot of acrylic. And since this is going to be mixed media art, um, yeah, we're in for a world of trouble. What I will say is that I think technically I can put these away. I'm not going to use this. Let's be real. This is my very, very cheap watercolor thingy I bought when I didn't know an ounce about watercolor. And so even if I would want to use this, I wouldn't use it on here because it's just not enough. And I also don't want to mix it with good quality stuff because I can tell the difference. So I'm going to put these two things away. I just wanted to take a moment to bring out all of my watercolor. So, one thing I do like to have in all of my abstract intuitive pieces is a darker color. Something that a lot of artists will tell you to stay away from when it comes to making actual people or things or stuff like that, for shadows and for blacks and stuff. They tell you to stay away from Payne's gray or stay away from just using it, you know. But in my intuitive pieces, I really just like the stark darkness of it. And I don't always see the need to mix complementary colors to get a dark color. And other times what I do is I will mix one color with Payne's gray, and that way it gives the Payne's gray a little more nuance. So I have Payne's gray and neutral tint. As you can see, that neutral tint is tinting. It's a bit strong, so, and I still haven't mastered using it. A lot of times I end up staining things a little bit too much because it's like ink. So I'm going to grab my Payne's gray. That is a for sure color. One of my typical palettes that I always lean towards is like some kind of amethyst or purple, and then like tealish blue and pink. I'm going to try to get away from that this time. Another palette I often go toward is something with raw sienna and alizarin crimson. I know these patterns. I just love those colors, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as the art continues to look different over and over and over again. But we're going to try to stray from them just a little bit, I think. Maybe. Maybe not. Actually, I don't want to. I don't want to because I just looked at this and I just got the answer for the colors that I want to use. So, and when I use my deeper, darker color, it is going to be within reason because I'm going to use Rockwell's Daniel's Favorites, which includes Permanent Deep Yellow, Ivory Black, and Chinese Red. 3 tubes, 3 colors. These are the colors I'm going to use. I think there is one more color that I might add in here to give just a different zest, but I don't know what that color is going to be. Hmm. Also, I would love for you all, not in here, to let me know what you guys like. If you like me starting from the beginning in my videos, or if you would rather me have all of this already selected and get straight into the painting process, like I want to know. Because yes, this is my YouTube channel, but I want to make it enjoyable for you all. And it's very easy to just not record this part that I'm doing, but I'm doing it now just because I can. Hmm. No, I feel like adding amethyst in here would be a little weird, so we're gonna leave it alone. And then coming back to this palette that I use very often, minus the yellow. No, I feel like none of those colors fit. And then I've got all of my, maybe a blue, but not that blue. Either a cobalt blue, wait, or, I just want to take you guys through my thought process. Or fall story. So I'm thinking of, and I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera. Whoopsie daisies. Switch my camera over. I'm thinking of doing these three colors with this or with fall story, which is kind of hard to see. This is fall story right here. So what I am going to do is actually put this to the side and we are going to figure it out. Woo! Oh, tree stripe. I do like my tree stripe. Um, get back in there. Cerulean Warbler is also another color that's deep and dark. So we are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Let's just test the colors together and see what we like. And I'm actually going to use this instead. Um, all right. So, and I'm just going to test these without squeezing them onto. All right. I do want a little bit of wetness there. So, okay. So there's the red looking beautiful in all its glory. I am also going to temporarily zoom in for you guys so you can see it better, hopefully. Okay. And I've got my towel here. Next, I am going to put ivory black. Now, this is very deep, dark color, obviously, but I've diluted it with the water, so I will go ahead and just like make a tiny strip up there. Should have done that with the red as well. I'm going to. But let me get this in really quickly. Ah, struggling to open. This is the deep yellow, permanent deep yellow. Okay, I guess so. Great. I'm just gonna put this on here since it's already done puffed itself out. I don't really know how to push it back inside. Okay, and like I said, really quickly, let me just throw this red up here. Okay. Now, for cobalt blue, and I might not need an extra color, you know? Let me just take it across. Oopsie. Very interesting. And fall story. I should have put more room like here. That's fine. I'll put it over here. Let me just squeeze a little out. And then put it here. Ooh. I actually didn't dilute the pigment that much, so it wasn't fully necessary to do that up there, but I'll explain why I did it in a second. Hmm. I mean, honestly, I could probably make all four of these colors work together somehow, but I kind of don't want it to be too much of, ooh, look, the primary colors are right there. So I I don't know, I might remove that blue. So now what I'm gonna do is this. Well, I'll just do it with my finger, covering up the blue so I can't see it and looking at these colors together. Okay. And then covering up this and seeing those colors together. Hmm. Still makes life a little bit difficult, but I think I'm gonna go with this. I don't know, I feel like when I see it here, yeah, the blue is a little bit too much. So we're gonna put the blue away. And that's not to say I won't change my mind later, but this is the mind I'm going with now. These colors, or I should say, these colors. I also don't know if you guys feel like you need to see all of my workspace or if it's okay if you literally just see this, the paper, you know? So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? I have to pick a palette though. The palette I'm going to use for all this stuff. Obviously, that I guess I'm just going to use that since I already did it. Okay, here's my big old blah 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 blah. But I also have. Sometimes I feel like my workstation is just not big enough. Ceramic thing with all of my lovely barcode stickers on it. Just gonna remove this because I've got pockets here, and clearly there was already a color there. So I'm just this was neutral tint or the Payne's gray. So that's just where I'm gonna put ivory black because it just yeah. For now, that's all I'm gonna put in there. Definitely, probably, maybe gonna put more. And I'm gonna put my Chinese red here. And the permanent deep is already there. So I'm going to put my fall story down here. Now, let's get started. I want to use this big calligraphy brush. I've got my sponge. I need to move these out of the way for the time being. I'm really bad when it comes to using my dirty water versus my clean water. I usually just use the same water over and over until it's dirty and then I get the new water. But I'm going to try. So my second cup is next to it. You just may not see it. Um, Maybe if I zoom out a little, we can at least see. There we go. So first things first, I want to get some color down. What color? I don't know. And I'm just putting some wet spots or some soft edges somewhere. I think I want to actually start with my permanent deep yellow. And just laying the color down. Okay, now. All right, one successful time of me using the correct thingamabobbers. Now let's go ahead and add the red in here, which is so bright, I almost wanted to switch to a alizarin crimson, but we're gonna leave things for now. Let's just see. Oopsie, that was off camera a little bit, my bad. just to give it some deepness. Also, I think maybe sometimes when it comes to me recording, maybe it's because part of me thinks I have to narrate, and that's what messes things up instead of my brain, like just sitting in silence and letting my brain do what it does. At least when talking about the last video I did that I didn't share because I really felt like it was a flop. Okay. Cool. And now for Fall Story. I actually think there's something wrong with me using this color minimally for now. Ivory black. Again, I might come back with this color after I have added charcoal. If maybe some of the spots of the charcoal I feel they aren't dark enough, we'll see. Oops. Okay. So now I'm just gonna wait a few minutes and give this a chance to dry. And once I've done that, I'm gonna come back in here with some charcoal. So let's just pause for a time. All right, we are back. It's been 15 to 20 minutes. I actually don't know. I wasn't paying attention. So here we have the stuff. It's damp, mostly dry, I would say. So I'm gonna look at it from this view just to see if I see anything that I want to like hone in on. And if not, then we'll just keep going with whatever happens next. So I just like to flip it every direction to see if I see something. And I don't really. So let's just go to the next thing, okay? And I'm just going to make random marks. I don't know what I'm doing. Intuitive art is not easy, y'all. I did not mean to stop recording. Whatever. Okay, we're here now, so. There it is. I don't know. You know what? No. Not feeling it. I'm scrapping this whole thing. Let's try something else. Maybe the one creative thing I had for the day was all I have for the day. I don't know. I'm gonna go with what's in here. Let me just. Okay. And this is all a learning process. I have not taken any classes on how to do intuitive art like this. So, you know. I don't really want these to be hard edges, so let me just. Take a minute. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Oh, it's pretty much already dry, so that's not gonna do too. Oh no, it's doing a little something. Okay. Okay. Mm, okay. As you can see, the fall story is a self-evolving color from Rockwell. Ooh, tonight is not the night, y'all. Okay, I think I need to give this some time to dry. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not fully feeling this, but I'm also not fully against it. I see something that can happen with this mess I made here. So we're gonna pause, let it dry, and come back. Hopefully this one will be better than the first one. All right, let's see what we can do. Think for a second. Gonna move those things away. All right. What if this... Although these marks can't really be seen, they're here for a reason, I promise. Okay, also let me zoom in. Oops. Here we are. That way maybe you can see better what's being done. Okay. Okay. Because I don't think my white pen works very well with this, let me just... I thought I took out... I must have put it back in at some point. Okay. Let me see what smoothing this out does. Okay, so... Oh no, that's not on screen. Okay, glad I caught it early. This is what I get for always trying to zoom in, zoom out and stuff. Then this happens. I'm not gonna zoom out again for the palette. It's just gonna be what it is. So here we've got... Okay. Alrighty. Now I'm going to put in my green here. It needs to be a little deeper. Just to... or darker, I mean. I may not be able to do that at the current moment, so maybe I'll come back. But the leaves are... just gonna... let's carry them up here too. Oops. That was a little too much. Let me go back in. don't put too much red because it'll take away from the. Actually, now that I've done that, let me just take some of that away. Okay, now let's come back over. Hold on. Let's just. Yeah, I should have done the black first. Let me. So I don't have to sit here and wait. Even though I don't think I'd have to wait long. I'm just gonna pull out my Payne's Gray acrylic paint right here. Okay, on this tree, I could just use my, oopsie, watercolor. Just going to throw some of my green in there. Feel like this isn't dark enough, so let me just go ahead and all right, I think it's like it's snowing. I'm just kidding. Or am I? I actually may not be kidding. I'm trying to. There we go. Okay. There we go. So now, before we sit on that, take a look at that. Let me do some cleanup. Well, it's pretty dirty, but. I did not mean to touch that. Alright. I will leave the rest of what's there, but I do want to clean around it to try to get off red. Okay. Alright. At some point, I need to use this. Yeah. And there's still a lot of that red left, so I'll leave it be. Now we can look at the finished product. So let's do that, shall we? Here we go. Bada boom. Not too bad. I don't know where we are, but I'm gonna say this is a bridge. There's the reflection of the moon, even though here it's like the sun. I don't know. I don't know what this big red box thing is, but I'm cool with it being there. Okay, anyway, that may have been very pointless, but I did it anyway. Again, done in the same day as this, so apparently these are the colors we're going with, although in here I used raw sienna, and this was also a different green. It was sap green from a very sucky brand. Okay, well, you guys, that is all. I hope that this was enjoyable to watch, or honestly, I don't even care if you guys watch the process. What I would like more is if you paint along and then, maybe you look up at your screen every now and then and you're like, oh, she's doing this now, she's doing that now, and you see the end result. But I would love, again, for you to move along with me and then you can post what you did in the YouTube community. I would love to see it. So, yeah, I think I have had a pretty fun creative day. And next time we'll see what other color palette I use. I am thinking about starting a challenge in August. We just have to figure out what that challenge is going to be. Still working out the ideas. That's all. Have a lovely day and or night and wainiman.